Who is the male wrestler for 2023? Myself and NXSteve are here for you today, going to give our top 5, starting with number 5, working our way up to number 1 and giving our reasons for so as well. NXSteve, welcome to the show again here today. Pleasure having you on board.
Man, looking forward to it, man. These are top 5 things are kind of exciting because it's always good to see what the conflict and difference between people's choosing for. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. And of course, this category is going to be Male Superstar of the Year. All wrestling promotions are eligible to be picked here for the top 5. And we'd like to know your top 5 in the comment section of this video. So without further ado, NXSteve, what is your number 5 pick? Who is number 5 Male Superstar of the Year for you for 2023?
For me, it is Gunter. I think the guy's had a solid year. He has been a quality Intercontinental Champion. The only reason why I've left him at number 5 is because obviously the issues with him not being on many of the pay-per-view cards, but otherwise had a solid year. And like I said, has just been an incredible Intercontinental Champion and has raised the bar of what that title stands for.
Amazing pick. Really love that, to be honest. And I'm going to say you might hear that name again in this stream at some point, but you make a fantastic point of the fact that he's not been on all of the premium live events, which could make a good argument maybe of why not the top pick. Number 5 for me is going to be none other than main event Jey Uso. Just look at the journey that Jey Uso's had of a full calendar year, starting January in the Bloodline. Of course, the Sami turn conflicted him at that point. Blood was thicker than water, though, leading him to a WrestleMania main event. Of course, the longest reigning tag team champions still at that point, the Usos losing those straps to Sami and KO. Of course, Jey and Jimmy would go on to beat Roman. Of course, Jey got the pinfall and the tag team match of Money in the Bank led to a SummerSlam main event for Jey Uso as well. But since then, of course, he lost that match. He went away from a little while after Jimmy turned on him, but he's returned to Monday Night Raw and he's quite easily fit himself in as a top 4 babyface on the Raw side and arguably one of the top people in the company, getting over with his Yeet chant as well, a tag team champion with Cody Rhodes. I think bright things have been on the horizon for him in 2024 as well, but for me, a very solid all-round 2023. He's really grown himself, not just a top tag team performer, but now a top singles performer in the company as well.
Yeah, spoiler alert for me, I did leave Jey out of my top 5. It was really hard because there was 3 names, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso and Chad Gable, that I left out that I thought have had fantastic years. Like you said, all really good. My only issue with Jey is, I haven't really got an issue with it. I just unfortunately found 5 other wrestlers that I think have had a better year than him.
And that's easily done because there's so many great talents in the wrestling world at this point. So I suppose without further ado, we should move then to number 4 then. So who is your number 4?
Number 4 is the one and only LA Knight. Yeah, I think the guy has done fantastic this year. He got himself a match with Roman Reigns. He has got himself naturally over from just being himself. He obviously was lucky enough to be Bray Wyatt's last match in WWE, which I think is something in itself. A lot of people ridiculed the match, but I thought, do you know what I mean? For the presentation what it was, I thought it was kind of cool and I really enjoyed it. But for me, he's just made himself into an absolute superstar this year. So for me, he is my number 4.
It's a fantastic choice. He's not in my top 5, but actually hearing that, I'm questioning why. LA Knight, like you say, over like Rover with the crowd right now, like you say, from someone that wasn't meant to, has got himself to the top championship match and is one of the top performers on SmackDown now. He's main eventing most weeks that he gets a match on the show now, so it's a great selection of LA Knight. I do love that. Certainly one of my favorites in WWE right now. But my number 4 selection, I have to go with him. It's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, because, well, Cody made his return, didn't he, at the Royal Rumble, winning the match, getting himself the main event spot at WrestleMania. He didn't finish the story, which, still a bit frustrating to this day. Hopefully he'll get to do it next year. But Cody, he's gone through the adversity, but he's had some strong storylines going through the summer as well. Brock Lesnar being one of them. Obviously currently now in a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. He's been feuding with the Judgment Day as well. Cody has been a big part of Monday nights, and of course for Cody, he's probably got big things on the horizon as well. The teasers have been there with the Bloodline again, but Cody for me has just been seen as presented as like that top babyface in WWE, even though you've had the others like LA Knight, who has been like a someone who shouldn't have been there. Cody's still presented as that guy that probably will end up being the one to finish that story and dethrone Roman Reigns. So for me, Cody gets the number 4 spot. And like I say, particularly the Royal Rumble match for me was a highlight, seeing him come back and do that. Obviously, he was the number 30, but yeah, it just showed you that Cody was going to be remaining on the same path that when he returned to the company, and a big deal moving forward.
Yeah, for me, Cody's not in my top 5 just for the fact that he hasn't finished the story, and I think his whole storyline this whole year has just been about if, when, why, and what, and how he will eventually end up finishing that story. His number 30 entry in the Rumble, I think, is a little lackluster for me. Like, if he'd have come out maybe earlier and had a decent run in the Rumble, I think the number 30 entrant is too easy. But otherwise, he has had a solid year, some decent wrestling matches, some decent storylines. Even the Brock Lesnar one and the current one with Shinsuke Nakamura, like, at least they're doing something to keep him preoccupied until we get to that point where he does win a world title.
Absolutely indeed. Then who will be your number 3 entrant?
For me, it's the one and only Maxwell Jacob Freeman. I think he has had a stellar year as champion. He has gone on to do great things. He's gone on to main event pay-per-views in the UK. He has gone on to be a great champion. He's had some amazing stories, amazing promos. He's turned from heel to face in sort of a natural way. His storyline with Adam Cole is absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't have thought of anyone better to pick than to go from into the number 3 spot.
Good news. My number 3 is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. We match there on the bronze position. MJF has been an incredible performer, like I say, in 2023. And like you say, he's been main eventing every pay-per-view. Had a really solid match with Jay White on Full Gear. Obviously had one of the best Iron Man matches of all time with Bryan Danielson. Of course, at Revolution. Had the Pillars 4-way, of course, at Double or Nothing, which was an outstanding 4-way also. And you mentioned the story with Adam Cole. And obviously, it's now led to the story with the Devil as well. A lot of guesses of who will it be. MJF has just been the talking point. Everything ticks around MJF. He's got so many things going on in AEW right now. Obviously, even when he talks to the likes of Hangman Adam Page, or whether he's got Wardlow chasing his tail, he's got Samoa Joe, the championship match coming off to finish the year in Long Island, New York. Will he walk away as champion and have the full calendar year as AEW World Champion? That remains to be seen. But also, you mentioned Wembley Stadium, AEW's biggest show, obviously, and MJF was headlining that show as well. MJF has just been, still the great promo, proving each and every time he's still great in ring. For me, definitely worthy of that number 3 spot. Who is your number 2?
He was my number 1 last year, but he's dropped down this year. It's Will Ospreay. Aside from the storylines, which he hasn't really had a lot of major stuff off, but the guy has again been having 5-star plus matches for fun with everyone this year. And I cannot discredit someone who knocks it out of the park when it comes to actual in-ring ability. So for me, my number 2 this year is Will Ospreay.
My number 2 is Gunther. I think Gunther, the Ring General, has been, well, when it comes to WWE terms, has been perfect in the ring. I don't think there's been a bad match that Gunther has had. Every match is like 4-star or above. It doesn't matter who he's in the ring with, whether it's Chad Gable on a Monday Night Raw, whether it's a Bronson Reed on a Raw, whether it's, a WrestleMania triple threat match with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, which is, I think, one of the matches of the year. Gunther has the longest time in a Royal Rumble match now, with over 1 hour, and I think it's 10 or 11 minutes. Incredible stuff from Gunther being the number 1 entrant. And let's not forget, he's been the Intercontinental Champion now, the longest one in history, and he has been the IC Champion for the entire calendar year. Gunther has done incredible work, and yes, he's not been on every PLE, but for me, he's as close to, perfect when it comes in ring in WWE, and I think that the only way is up for Gunther. I can see a World Championship in his, on his shoulder in the near future. I think in 2024 it definitely happens. Yeah,
absolutely. I can't agree more with that. Like I said, he's had a great year. Just for me, we know it's not his fault. It's just to do with his visa and stuff. But so the lack of pay-per-view defending has really knocked him down for me.
That's understandable. So, who is your number 1?
My number 1 for 2023 is Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio has had the greatest turn in wrestling because people, my God, hated him at the start of the year. His whole storyline with his father, getting arrested, going to prison, fantastic. I've had so much fun watching Dominic Mysterio this year. His whole storyline in the Judgment Day, the guy has entertained me all year. He's had a solid run as North American champion. He has had some great ring promo, and he's even had quality matches against people you would never expect him to have matches with. For me, my number one for 2023 is Dominic Mysterio.
Fair play to you, my friend. Fair play to you. Now, I'm going to, spoiler alert, he's not my number one. He's not in my top 5. But I will give props where it's due. Like you say, Dominic Mysterio has had an incredible year. Like you say, the fact that he had the father versus son match with Rey Mysterio, obviously this year at WrestleMania. A great match with Cody. Obviously, he's had a little rivalry going on there. He's been a big part of War Games as well. North American champion. Like you say, Dominic Mysterio has done amazing things. Obviously, every time he gets on the mic, he gets booed out of an arena. So, yeah, he has some great moments about him. But for me, look, number one, let's not beat about it. Storylines or not, it comes down to match quality for this one. Will Ospreay cannot be touched in the ring. If I could, on one hand, 2 hands, 3 hands, can name 5-star matches that this guy has had alone. He's had 2 of them with Kenny Omega, once at Wrestle Kingdom, Forbidden Door being another one. Zack Sabre Jr., of course, in the UK show for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Speedball Mike Bailey in Impact Wrestling was incredible. Josh Alexander, which was just a regular TV match for them as well. He's done an amazing 6-man matches as well for AEW as well. I mean, literally, Will Ospreay for me, every time I watch him, it's just incredible match after incredible match after incredible match. He's had more 5-star matches than I've had hot dinners. That's how good he's been in 2023. So for me, he has to take Wrestler of the Year.
I can't listen to your boy. He has 5-star wrestling matches for fun. I can't argue with it more. He's a very worthy number one. Like I said, he was my number one last year. I'm glad someone else picked him as number one this year. But yeah, it's very well deserved, Will Ospreay.
Absolutely indeed. And obviously Dominic Mysterio as well, a worthy contender as well for yourself as well, NXSteve there. But that's what we think. It's time to let us know what you think in the comments below. Who is the male wrestler of the year? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, share with a friend, and subscribe as well. You've been watching SCW. Check out the videos as well on the side of your screen right now if you can't wait for more content. And keep an eye out for more of the best of 2023 on this channel. A few of these will be dropping over the next few days. Take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next video.